the introductory video. We have Pierre-Philippe Mathieu with us of the European Space Agency. Hello, Philippe. Hello, everybody. How are you? Everything fine and smooth. So I think you have a presentation, right? If you can please click on present so that we take the time to upload it. Can you please tell me where the button is? On the bottom right, you should have presenter. No, I can only see that is presenting. You should be able to see it, though. Yes, it's there. Okay. The European Space Agency is also partner for the festival for climate change as a topic. So you're going to give us an overview based on the data you have, your vision on climate change. You're about to launch one of the topics we'll tackle during the next edition of the festival, but also during other Start the Future editions. However, is everything working fine? Yes. Okay, Pierre, when you want, you can start. You can speak Italian if you want to. You be translated into English, or if you want, you can speak English. First of all, can you confirm you can see my presentation on the slide? Yes. What are you seeing there? What can you see there? Our home planet. What planet is it? Calabria, maybe? Yeah, exactly. No, basically, I wanted to show you something and basically share my passion for space and the power of perspective. Nowadays, we're talking a lot about perspective because it's a way to understand problems and solve them. If you change perspective, you can change your way to solve the problem. You can find other ways. And this is the space perspective in a picture of Casimir against. Basically, you're seeing our planet, but it's so small, you have to zoom in to see it. So basically, it's here, a small blue dot called Pale Blue Dot by Carl Sagan. This was done in 2013 when the satellite went to Saturn. And I'm going to start with this because basically people were asked to get out of their home, look at Saturn, and take the most space-oriented selfie of the world. A selfie, in this case, that was taken millions of kilometers away from the Earth. But if you zoom in, you get to the moon. And when astronauts go to the moon, they always look at the Earth because they understand the Earth as a planet, our home. And you can see very bright colors from the moon. You can understand that water plays a very important role on Earth. When this picture was taken, it had a very strong psychological impact on mankind because for the first time we saw each other from outside, from far away. This was the very first look onto the Earth from far away, and we understood how small our planet is and how fragile. And dialogue started on sustainability, and is also the topic of my presentation. What we do at the Space Agency, also with other partners like NASA or other agencies, is to monitor this planet in order to manage it in a better way. And we see it from different perspectives. We monitor it from different angles and perspectives, spectra. In order to do this, we build and launch satellites into the space, into different orbits at different levels. Some of them are for weather forecasting, others for research, and some others are sentinels for environmental monitoring. We monitor the environment every week with 10 meters resolution for the whole planet, thanks to this set of sentinels. And we gather data from the sentinels and try to transform the data into information that can be used by policymakers, industries, and so on and so forth. This is, for instance, sustainability quantification. So, for the Sustainability Development Goals, more specifically, some examples of what we can see. I said that the Earth is blue, but still you also have some green, which stands for biology, for life. In this case, you can see microorganisms like this, plankton, and chlorophyll of plants. So you can see biology and traces of life from the space. Even life forms are so small, you can see it from the space. From space, you can also see the impact of our species on the planet. For instance, during the night, you can see this. You can understand people are using energy during the night. If you would have taken the picture 100 years ago, you would have had a totally different result. We can also measure gravity with an extreme measuring vision, which allows us to give us a very exact height. For this is GPS, for instance. Or we can have a magnetic view, so radiation. We can measure moisture of soil in order to understand how plants are using water. We can observe the atmosphere and monitor clouds. This is for weather forecasting, for instance, every day. And with Sentinel-2, we can monitor field trends with a 10 meters resolution and see how plants are growing, disappear, how the landscape is changing over time. And we also have signs of climate change, of course, on a global scale. The same that we saw for light can apply to ice melting. Thanks to satellites, we can have this global view also for regions that are far away, like the poles, for instance. And we can see that ice is melting. You can also see glaciers that are disappearing in very far regions, or the water temperature that is increasing, and this also raises the sea level, and this has an impact on the coast areas. And we can also see how the mankind is changing, shaping the chemical composition of the atmosphere. You can see CO2, for instance. The satellite can see the changes in CO2 over time. You can see how the vegetation is breathing because it goes up and down, but the trend is increasing. It is an upward trend, and this shows the impact of mankind on the climate. But we can also observe other gases like NO2, nitrogen dioxide. All of the combustion processes contribute to it. So when you start the engine and so on and so forth, you contribute to pollution. And it's a way to measure pollution. When the virus came over, we saw a downward trend of all these emissions. Basically, the air quality has improved significantly, and we can see it from kilometers and kilometers from the space. And we can measure the impact of this crisis on the social, economic, and environmental aspects. And this is why we launched a call for tenders for pilot projects for 150,000 euros. So if you have good ideas, you can send us proposals on how to use technologies to measure these three aspects, these three impacts. Of course, we will share this with everybody for your call for proposals. Of course, we observe different levels and different variables. The added value is putting all the pieces together in order to understand what's going on. This is the power of perspective. And also in this case, we are gathering different data because, of course, we can't see under the sea level from the space. Therefore, we need other levels. We need mathematical models in order to get information on physical processes. And putting all of this together, our goal right now is to create a sort of digital twin Earth, that's to say, a digital version of our planet, in order to understand how the Earth works and make experiments in order to see the impact of what we do on the environment. We also use AI, artificial intelligence, AI forms, artificial intelligence, to see hidden variables. This is how we put different variables together in order to assess the El Nino effects, for instance, which has biological impacts on fishing and carbon emissions, for instance. One of the challenges we have is transforming this huge information set in small data. That's to say, small indicators that can be useful for people. There is a very long chain in order to attain this goal, and therefore we need you to help us. We talk to startup companies, for instance, to gather this information with apps related with products in order to transform these into a service. So we do competitions, basically. This is an example of it, where the sun rays were analyzed on strands, for instance, in order for people to understand what sun protector factor was necessary on a specific beach, for instance. So this is our website we have for all the startups and innovators in order for us to get such ideas, for instance. Yes, okay, we've got a direct line, and for sure we will share with you all of the projects that can help to work together in terms of climate change, and not just that. Thank you very much for your time, Pierre. Let me finish by saying this. There's a third opportunity in this website. Let's just say creating changes with data, which are all open source, free, online. Thank you very much, Pierre. I'll get in touch soon. So let's start this wonderful cooperation in order to activate our innovator community. Thank you very much once again.